and then a lot of killing could start. By the morning, you could see many dead. So we did not publish the story until we sent a crew in the morning to the place. We investigated the story, and we hosted spokesperson from this side and spokesperson from that side who put the event in context, and they said this is isolated case. It does not represent rising tension amongst the two ethnic minorities. And that was something reasonable that we put the story on the screen. Now, this is something I would assume is a natural, responsible behavior. But some other times, you receive certain kind of information. If you publish, you will risk the source, or you will risk the people involved with you in the operation in a risk, high risk. They might be arrested or killed. You need to weigh the consequences. Sometimes you have to make preparations for that. Ask them to withdraw from wherever they are, or prepare yourself. So you cannot rush it immediately to the screen. You need to take care about what should happen. I warn against hiding a story because the state would like you to hide. That is not really something reasonable. Unless there is something that could harm public unity, or create or trigger sectarian or ethnic division, or create certain kind of deceptive feeling regarding something good for the nation, I don't think that we should be involved in hiding any story.
Thank you. My name is Nishan Dimel. I'm part of a research organization that continually analyzes the media for the ideas and views emerging from it. I wanted to take you up on what you talked about objectivity in news, of not mixing analysis and opinion. One of the frustrations we have when we analyze the news is the way in which egregious falsehoods by power are simply conveyed without actually analysis and context to demonstrate the irrationality or the lack of logic in the claims that are being made. So to some extent, from looking at media, we are frustrated by the lack of analysis given to statements that really shouldn't be presented as news when they're incorrect. How do you deal with that tension? It's something from your...
I would say that there are two forms of journalism that I personally now feel that we have a mission, all of us, to support. Field journalism and investigative journalism. We have lost, the worst form of journalism is when you send a correspondent to a place, and I've seen this many times. And they say, because of the opinion and the other opinion, they say someone has said ABC and the other one has said ABC. Thank you very much. My role is over. Your role is not over. You are a journalist who have been dispatched to a location to investigate and to dig deep into the truth of the story, the true essence of the story, and narrate that to the public. Don't narrate it, framing it in a political direction, but narrate it as possible, as clear as possible, based on the truth of the true essence of it. So investigative journalism in this case is important, and that is actually one of the highest forms of journalism, which we are losing with time for many reasons. One of them, because we in the newsroom, editors and people who finance the operation, don't want really to spend a lot of time and money sending a team to dig for weeks, sometimes days or months, for a story. So you prefer your correspondent to do every day a report, to file from the field one report or two reports. Now, if you prepare to spend more money or resources or time, you can get much better journalism. If you want journalism to be just immediate, for the sake of 24-hour news bulletin and the beast that absorbs a huge amount of reports, you most likely are going to offer people very cheap and bad journalism. So it depends on our responsibility. And I was a correspondent in the field. Sometimes really you need 2 weeks to investigate a story. And in 2 weeks you cannot do anything but getting involved with meeting actors. People behind you, they get very frustrated. I send you there, I'm paying you a lot of money, you are staying in a hotspot and whatever, and you are spending 2 weeks to give me 3 minutes report about small thing that has happened. Yes, but these 3 minutes that I'm doing to you are much more worthy of your audience than hours of junk reporting that anyone could do. So I do believe that it's a heavy responsibility, not only of journalists, of those who are behind them. Because let us be frank about it. Each one of us is a journalist or a correspondent in the field. he has his leaders sitting there in the newsroom who define to him the parameters of his movement. Unless if you are a freelancer who is really courageous enough to do whatever you want to do and later on go and market your story to whoever you want to publish it. But most of us, if we are employees, we eventually receive instructions and we abide by them. So the responsibility of those who send the instructions are much more higher than the responsibility of those who sit in the field.
So, Azam Amin,
We are fast running out of time, so we can take only one more question. Yes.
a question on Sri Lankan context, that foreign media and especially Al Jazeera have been criticized by the Sri Lankan government and Sri Lankan press for its coverage of Sri Lankan war, and anti-Sri Lankan, they say that it's always you have anti-Sri Lankan stuff. So what's your response to that?
I'm not really aware exactly of the cases of criticism, although the fact that the statement that a government criticized Al Jazeera is something that, normal, and I think everyone criticized Al Jazeera in a moment of time for certain particular reporting. I don't think it is something that we should evade as journalists, to be criticized by any government in the world. I think we should do our job as long as we are sure that what we are doing is in line with our guides and professional standards. Once we do that, again, we should not be afraid of criticism, but we should be afraid of making professional mistake. This is a source of worry for each one of us. The worst thing for anyone who leads any TV station or newspaper or any editor or journalist in his career is to make a professional mistake. But to make political tension is not really a responsibility that we should be very scared of. I don't really know, in part, to answer your question about any particular case where Sri Lanka was upset with Al Jazeera. I'm not aware. Maybe it has happened in the case of the English channel, but I'm not really aware exactly in order to answer that in particular, at least during the 8 years that I was leading Al Jazeera. And I would say, it is normal. They are doing their job by maximizing their control over all sorts of power, like any state in the world. And it is our job to challenge that narrative. So the tension, a reasonable level of tension is necessary to happen between journalist circles and political circles. Thank you.